You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
WGPR Detroit, HD2.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me for Can We Talk About It, where we talk about that elephant in the room. Before we begin, I want to give my husband, Charles Stinson, a shout out, the love of my life, an angel that the Lord has put in my life to help me on my journey and in all of my endeavors. I really thank the Lord for a man like Charles Stinson in my life. Say hi to my sons, my daughters, my grandchildren. I love you guys so much. I was at a family reunion last week, or this past weekend. I just got in kind of like later on last night, and I had such a crazy time. So, I have a guest today. I'm going to have a guest next week, the lawyer. His name is Mr. Falzone, and I want you guys to call in because he's going to be, if you have any type of legal questions that you want to ask, he's going to be more than happy to ask them. So I'm going to open up the lines next week, and you can call in and ask about your legal questions and everything. Like I said, the trip was terrible. So once I get my little guest out the way and it's just me and you, we're going to talk about this terrible trip that I had. But for now, I have a beautiful brother in the Lord on. His name is Michael Johnson, and I'm so glad he's here. He's with Media Alliance, and he's the talk show host at 1440 WKWM.
Yes.
And he's just a joy to be with. So how are you, Mike?
I'm good. Thank you, Donna, for having me today.
So before we begin with your shows and Alliance Media and all that,
yes,
I want to thank you for having me on the talk show. It's called The Christ Movement, and it is such a beautiful show, and I wanted to thank you for that. And I wanted you to tell my viewers, what the Christ Movement is all about.
Sure. Greetings, everyone, and thanks again, Donna, for having me today. The Christ Movement program is a show basically about, everyday situations, circumstances, but we put a little bit more, I would say, emphasis on the practicality, which is, how to apply what we know as far as wisdom and truth is concerned.
Exactly. And I really enjoyed doing the show, and I enjoyed you having me back. And I'm supposed to be on next week with Mike. He has been such a blessing to me. Not only have your show helped me as far as delving actually into myself as a human being, but it's actually helped me to start delving more into the word too.
Okay.
So, because I want to be ready when somebody asks me a question when it comes to Christ, and you've given me that positivity. It's not that I wasn't studying the Bible, but I don't think I was studying it enough.
Oh, okay.
So now I'm like, there's some juicy stuff in here, So, and then I go to First Church, Geno Jennings, and there are scriptures that he talk about that I never even know that was in the Bible. So between you, your show, and him, I'm just picking up so many good nuggets.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And well, with me, just like we eat physically and things of that nature. I think we need to be fed spiritually.
Yes.
That's a part of our existence.
And our growth.
Yes, exactly. And so I think it's good to kind of nourish ourselves in truth and in wisdom, especially as we move forward in life. So the people that we run into and the people that we deal with every day in each and every area of our lives, on our jobs, our families, they need to know that we are here to love one another. Bottom line, even though a lot of times we do get in those situations and circumstances where, it's not always right, but we can do the right thing. We can make positive and strong decisions. We don't have to make weak choices today.
Exactly. And that's what it's all about, choices.
Yes.
And the Lord gave them to us.
That's right. That's exactly
He
right.
gave us choices.
That's exactly
and
right.
it's up to us what we're going to do with them.
That's right. That's exactly right. I just wanted to kind of mention real quick, Donna, happy belated Father's Day to the fathers out there. And I mean, it's so important, I think, that men today, that we rally around each other, that we support one another in the brotherhood and the men, in the menhood, growing up as men, stepping up and taking care of our wives and our families and doing the right thing.
I appreciate that because I talk about the brothers on the show. I talk about the sisters, the brotherhood, the sisterhood.
Yes.
How we should treat each other and everything. And, by me being a woman, there's only so far I could go with, talking to the brothers because
Yes.
I'm not a man.
Okay.
But I can give my experiences on what I've seen or what I've been through or the interactions that I've had with the men in my life. I can talk on those, but I can't man to man say this is what a man is supposed to do because I'm not a man. So I appreciate you saying that.
Okay.
I really do.
Okay. Absolutely.
So before we go to Alliance Media, I want you to let them know about your radio broadcast, when it's on, what time,
Okay.
where they can find it.
Okay. Well, we have our broadcast every Tuesday, and it's on 1440 a.m., which is easy to find on your dial. And again, we have a lot of topics, different discussions, and it's about real life, real time, real lifestyle issues. And so you're more than happy to tune in. We have a great listenership, and just join us. And, we're going to have a portion where you'll be able to call in and, if you have any questions, any concerns. Donna's been with me, been a great support. And so, let's continue what we're doing.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much for that. I can't believe that you asked me to be a part of this great movement. You know what I'm saying? It's just when you asked me, I was like, sure, I'll do it. And then when you asked me a second time, and I'll be on tomorrow with him too. So
Absolutely.
I just thank him for, having all the beautiful choices in life. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yes.
I just thank you. You're the bomb.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And
Thank
your
you.
wife.
Oh, okay.
Is the bomb.
Yes, she's definitely
He's got a beautiful wife, ladies and gentlemen, and her voice is so loving and so inviting. I love she's the bomb too. So,
Listen, Donna, I'm glad that you mentioned her because she is like what makes me look good. I mean, she's out there and she's doing her thing, but she's also like, the best, so I have to give it to her. I mean, I couldn't do anything without her.
amen to that.
You
I
know.
wish more brothers felt that way about their mates, their wives.
Okay.
So, and that's another reason why, I guess I feel, kind of drawn to you because, you're like the men of the 70s. There's
Oh,
no more of
yeah.
them. They took care of their family. They're very respectful towards other women as well as their wives. You're very soft-spoken. You're not hard to talk to.
Okay.
You are a peacemaker. If you see a situation getting ready to go left, you know how to de-escalate it. And I admire that in you because I can't be that way all the time. I'm trying.
Well, it's not always easy, Donna, but I like living on the corner of peace and happiness.
Yay for peace and happiness. Mike, live on peace and happiness. That's so good. I live on halfway peace and halfway getting it together. That's why the production company is called Getting It Together.
I understand. Involved in the series and women, period, as well as children. So we have a whole a selection of marketing strategy, comic books, all sorts of hats, T-shirts, things that are related to a superhero. But however, this superhero is on a different level. He's more hands-on, I should say. He's not he's not like out of reach. He's very much in touch, and he's more like a scientist, and so he's independent. So he doesn't have to depend on anybody else. He's pretty much
He's like a Tony Stark, huh?
He's like a Tony Stark.
Yeah, okay.
And he's been trained by his dad,
Okay.
as well as his godfather. So he's had two really significant men in his life, which is another message which we're trying to bring to our series too, as far as men and being involved with their children and and especially in being involved with their sons' lives, teaching them by being examples of how to be men, how to treat people, how to love one another, how to love your woman and your wife, and take care of your community,
right?
Things of this nature.
And see, and I really liked the summary.
Yes.
The summary of this character, because in today's age, we got this girl on girl thing, boy on boy thing. They're pushing this agenda on everybody,
Yes,
and
yes.
it's just a hot mess. And
Yes.
if that's what you want to be it. Don't throw it in my face, because I don't accept it.
Right.
Don't come to me talking about what is this these pronouns, he, she, they. If you're a man, I'm gonna call you sir. If you're a woman, I'm gonna call you ma'am.
Thank you.
It's just as simple as that. There's no in between with me.
That's right.
So all that other stuff, you can take that to your friend the devil, because I'm not playing those games. You're not
Right.
going to force me
Right.
into things that you want to do.
Exactly.
I'm not forcing you to be holy. I'm not forcing you to go to church.
Right.
And so don't force me to call you it, them, they, whatever you say you are. You are a woman or you are a man, and that's the only way I'm going to see you.
Yes.
So I like that show because it's showing young men that they can be more than homosexuals.
That's right.
They can be more than thugs, pimps, and pushers.
Thank you.
They can be more than drug addicts.
Yes.
So that's the reason I wanted you to talk about that, because that's good for the brothers. And then the TUI, what you were talking about, I love that because it shows sisters on a more intelligent level and
Yes.
looking for justice. And not only that, they're coming together for the sisterhood.
There we go.
And I love these two shows that you're giving, because everything that's on the television now is just a hot mess. I wouldn't let my cat sit in front of the TV and watch the stuff that's on here now.
Good point. Good point. Well, again, Don, I think that we've more or less shuffled away from the good points and the positive things that go on, and we're focusing on the negative things. And so these are
No,
the
we're
things-
not focusing. The negative is being pushed upon us.
Exactly. And so I think it's time now to get back to the way of life that we know best, which is, again, having a character of integrity, at least out here trying to do the right thing.
Exactly.
A lot of times you hear people say, well, let's keep it 100.
And
you
no
know,
one keeps it
and
100.
let's keep it real. But what about let's keep it righteous?
Okay. And that's what I'm talking about.
Yes,
The world
yes.
would be a better place if everybody, the Bible says that we are here to bear one another's burdens.
Yes.
But if you don't want me to bear your burdens and you want to be out there and just do the food, then go over there and do the food.
Right.
But don't push your foolishness on a mind that hasn't been developed yet.
That's it.
And nowadays, and that's what I was talking about, the boob tube. We have mothers today that sit their children in front of this boob tube,
Yes.
and all they see is violence, sex, drugs, cursing, homosexuality. There's not a I mean, they have sitcoms. It seems like every sitcom you see, there's a gay person in it,
Yes.
and I think it's sad.
Indeed.
And now they're saying that you're gay bashing. No, I'm not.
Right.
I'm speaking my mind. This is still the divided states of America.
Yes.
And I should be able to say how I feel. Like you're saying that you're one thing and you're another. You're living a lie. I'm telling a truth and you're mad.
That's right.
So be mad.
Yes. Yes.
I'll go pray for you.
Okay. I know that's right. I feel you on that one, Donna. And the thing is, I think they're trying to put a move on us to make us desensitize the subject. So
Exactamundo.
when we see this, it's like the more we see it, the more
Less-
we get accustomed to it.
Right.
So we're saying, oh, okay, well, then it's okay. But it's not.
It's not. It's
not.
not.
Yeah.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're here supposed to be talking to Mike about the things that he do, but we mesh out so well to where when we get together, we discuss all types of points
Yes,
as far as
indeed.
life and the way we should live. And I'm gonna have Mike come on as a co-host so we can sit up and talk about some things because I love talking to Mike. Mike is the type of person to where he's the opposite of me. I'm gonna say that, okay? He's the opposite of me. So I need these type of people in my life for the simple fact that, and I've told you guys this too, sometimes I can be a bit rough around the edges, even though, I go to church and, I read my Bible and I do suffer from post-traumatic stress. I was talking to Mike about that, and he's a good listener too. And I do consider him a brother in Christ. So,
Thank you.
we sit up and talk about so much, and when I come to him and we get to talking, it always turns into the conversations that we're having now, and they're so beautiful, and I'm so glad that he's here. But I'm definitely gonna have you come back on as a co-host so you can we can sit.
Whenever you're ready for me, I'm here for you.
Yeah, because you the man. You the man. This is like the first brother that I really ever had a chance to really talk to, and I could just lay things on the table with him because he's got a soft, quiet, strong spirit. I know that may sound like an oxymoron, but with God, all things are possible. So he reminds me a lot. Like I could say, this is my husband's brother,
Right.
and I can always go to him and talk with him, and he always has good advice for me. So I appreciate that. So while we're talking, is there any other subject that you want? Oh, I wanted to talk to you about something that we talked about on your show. And
Okay.
you were talking about a young man who wrote a book and is on Amazon.
Oh, yes. Lance Rogers Jr. Oh, my goodness. I'm glad you brought him up, Don,
Yeah.
because over the weekend, he had a book signing, and it was just phenomenal. But the book was about his sister who had passed away.
Okay.
And from what I had read about,
So how old is he?
he's about 10 or 11.
Okay.
And from what I understand, she was in a car accident and she made her transition, but it was just like he was telling a story about his relationship with her and the transitioning period. And he's a very smart young man. And so I gave him a lot of credit for doing that project.
Mm-hmm.
And so we came alongside of him. We supported him as far as, doing the voiceovers and things of that nature. But it's a #1 bookseller on Amazon right now. So I would suggest people go out and, purchase a copy and.
And his name is, give him his name and the name of the book.
Lance Rogers Jr. And the name of the book is called Diary of an Angel.
That is so beautiful.
It's
That's a
beautiful.
beautiful title to a book too.
Yes,
And he must have really loved his sister.
He did.
That's a great dedication.
I'm telling you.
I mean, and the reason I wanted you to talk about this young man is because there's so many young children out here that's so smart.
Yes.
And they have so much going for them.
Yes.
But excuse my language, they got these funky parents that don't want to cultivate them. And then they fall between the
Exactly.
cracks.
That's right.
And you say, well, what happened to them? You know, they were such a smart person, this, that, and the other. Now,
Yes.
I have a fondness, and we talked about on your show, I used
Okay.
to be a crack addict.
Okay.
So I have a fondness for crack addicts.
Okay.
And a lot of people think that just because a person is a crack addict, they're stupid. Most crack addicts are so intelligent. They're highly intelligent.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, addicts can pull money right out the sky. You know what I'm saying? And I
Okay.
mean, and they'll steal the enamel right off your teeth. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is they're very smart. They're very intelligent. They calculate their moves. They know how to plan things. So it's not that addicts are dumb by any means.
Oh,
And
yeah, of course not.
and by this young boy doing what he's doing and him
Mm-hmm.
having the right parents to cultivate him, it took
Yes.
him because there's no telling where this young boy would be if he didn't have the support of his family after the transition of his sister.
Yes.
Because I know when we were real young, my stepfather had passed.
Okay.
And he was more like a father to all of us. It was 11 of us, and my mother only had one child with him, and she's
Okay.
the baby. And when he passed away, the whole family went awry.
Okay.
So parents, especially the man in the family, is everything.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
everything. So we need to, we don't talk to our children enough to ask them, how's your day? How's
Right.
things been going? Is everything good? Nowadays, half of us, we don't even want to go down and talk to the teachers anymore.
This is true. This is very true, Donna. And I just wanted to add to what you were saying about having that father figure or role model or mentor in the home. And this goes for the young ladies too, as well as the young men.
Because though the men in the family, I ain't want to cut you off, but
Oh,
I
no,
didn't
no,
want
no.
to lose my train of thought because I'm good at losing my train of thought. I'm so goofy. So the men in the family actually shows the women what their daughters what a real man looks like.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and so if some thug come up in their face, they're instantly allergic.
Right.
Because they're not used to that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
They're
right.
not used to that. See,
Yes.
when my stepfather passed, I met my father, but then my father passed.
Oh, I'm
But
so
then
sorry.
but you know what? There's a lesson in everything to be learned in your life, but
Mm-hmm.
you have to learn how to open up and be receptive, even to the things that break your heart. You have
Yes.
to find some type of lesson in everything. Like, I'm gonna let you guys know, I really haven't found the lesson in what happened over the weekend happened, but when I do, I'll let you know. But
Yes.
you just have to be there for your children.
Yes.
They had this thing on the news, and I didn't know that this was going on. And they said that this white lady, maybe you heard that, had took these 3 children that didn't belong to her.
Okay.
And she had shot past a red light, and this black officer seen her
Right.
and pulled her over and found out the kids wasn't hers and took her to jail. She was kidnapping these children.
Wow, I did not hear about that.
Right. So the reason I said that is because earlier that morning, like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, I get up, I pray for the children, and I tell people, there's monsters out there.
Yes.
Don't send your 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old child to school by themselves. They have to walk past crack houses. They got to walk past crackheads. They got to walk past all kinds of dangerous pedophiles.
Indeed.
It's up to you to, see your children, off to school. So in the mornings when I get up, I pray for the children. So when I was on the air and I was telling people, I didn't even say anything to the parents. I was telling the children, I'm
Okay.
praying for you little ones, especially the ones who have these hard-headed parents and they don't want to, get up. They want to be lazy. Some of the children, they are like 8, 9 years old. They're cooking, paying attention. They're cooking. They pay more attention to what's going on in the house than the parent do.
Okay.
They take care of the parent. Before the parent wake up, they didn't make their own breakfast and they're out the door.
Isn't that something?
That's terrible.
And you know what, Donna?
Wait a minute. I was trying to make a point. Then I found out that what I just told you about the white lady was trying to kidnap these kids. So I pray for these children.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's what I wanted to say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I commend you, Donna, for, and even, coming forth like that and just letting us know, because you are like an unsung hero to me. Anytime that,
Oh man, I'm about to shrink. I feel so humble. Don't make me cry. You know how easy it is for me to do that. I don't look at myself like that. I just look at myself that the Lord, He loves me, so I need to love people, and I need to love my people and be there for them, and I need to protect my community, and I need to let people know that we need to protect our community.
Absolutely. I mean, no truer words have been spoken. And the reason why I say that is because it's about time management. A lot of times you get up in the morning early and you get up and you spend your devotional time and you meditate and you pray for these young children. And that's so, so important.
It is.
Because a lot of times when we can't reach out and touch them, we can reach out and touch them through prayer.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And as long as we have the right intentions in our hearts toward them, because we know sometimes that it can be difficult, like you said, under the circumstances. A lot of times when the kids are coming up and they're hungry, they don't know where the next meal is coming from.
And their parents will tell them, don't you tell nobody.
Yeah.
What you mean don't tell nobody? I'm hungry, woman.
Yeah.
Daddy? What do you mean?
So what I'm saying is you're in the gap fighting for them. Okay, and that's a beautiful thing because they need us to do that.
Yes, they do.
They do. I mean, they need us to do that.
They can't fight for themselves.
Yes, and so
somebody,
again,
even some people even need to stand up to their parents.
Yes,
because I see parents, especially a lot of thugged out thoughts in Target, Walmart's, different places like that.
Right.
And your children go to touch something, you turn right into a hood rat. You MF, don't you? Blah blah. Don't you know that child is embarrassed?
Yes, and it's disrespectful.
Very disrespectful to the child.
Yes.
If you didn't want that child, you shouldn't have opened your legs.
Yes.
And that's how I see it. I'm gonna talk it how it is. I'm gonna call it like I see it.
Yes.
There's so many children out here that feel so unwanted because of the way that their parents talk to them.
Right.
Parents come to them and say directly to them, I wish I never had you, but you love them checks that they bringing in, don't you?
You see? Yes.
Ooh, I feel like Medea.
Here's another situation too, and this is about the young man. I talked to a young man, and he told me, he says, yeah, Mr. Johnson, he was, I haven't seen my dad in years, and I wouldn't even know him if I saw him. So I said, this is the deal. I said, now, even though I said, what I want you to do is be the bigger person. Even though he hasn't reached out to you, you reach out to him, and I think he was incarcerated. I said, write him a letter, son, and then let him know how you feel, and then say, okay, well, listen, Dad, I'm going to leave the door open. You know what I'm saying? So, in other words, later on in life, after you probably get yourself together, and maybe you're working, because if you're not working, you can't provide for me,
right?
Things of this nature. But leave the door open and say, okay, well, listen, maybe someday we'll get a chance to reconnect. But right now, by us not connecting, I'm not going to hold that against you. And even though the fact that a lot of times, a lot of the men, they break up with their wives or with their female counterparts, and they don't want to have anything to do with that significant other or the child. And I don't think that that's right, because don't cut off that time with your child that you could be spending with them,
exactly,
to help them develop and grow
right
into a manhood or a womanhood. And it goes again too with the sisters, with the young ladies. I mean, because they're queens, and they need to be, showed that they're queens, and not only showed but told.
Right.
So we tell our young women, again, be a queen.
Right. So
perform like a queen.
I'm so glad you came on. Our time is up, but thank you so much for coming. We're going to do this again real soon.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call in. We're going to have our attorney come in next Monday, and you guys will be able to ask him some questions and everything. So until next Monday, stay strong and be strong.